got a guest here, so yeah, I think I'm gonna get.
That's
back
all
in the
good.
car.
We're all good.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in the car though. You guys get. Yeah, thank you.
Videographing, so just wanted to check what's happening. Just checking.
I work for a British TV company, and we're making a documentary here in Irving, in Texas. We're not going to be recording you, sir. I'm recording me, but accusing me of Islamophobia for no reason. I mean, I'm here in Texas.
Texas, land of the cowboy and the cactus. Now a new culture is in town.
America is based on individual rights. Islam has no concept of the individual. It's the group, the ummah.
In recent decades, Islam has quietly grown across the Lone Star State. Hundreds of thousands of Muslims have made Texas their home.
They're going to try to keep their culture. They're not interested in our culture.
Some locals are worried Islam is not compatible with America.
There are verses that say, conquer and kill. It's not going to happen in our land here in Texas. It's not going to happen in America.
So I went to Texas to investigate. I began in Dallas, where I met local activist Kristen and two hired bodyguards who agreed to show me around.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, good, thanks. We're going to go to some mosques.
Yes.
In Dallas.
Yes.
You live in Dallas?
I do.
And you're going to show me around?
I am.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Awesome.
So now we're heading to an area that is a mosque here in Irving, and there are some neighborhoods that are right around it that are appear to be predominantly for the people that attend the mosque.
So we're here outside of a mosque in Irving. Is Texas changing then? I mean, obviously when you think of Texas, you think rodeo, you think cowboys, you don't necessarily think of mosques.
No,
but
you
that's
don't.
the new Texas.
It appears to be. And if it was just to be here to be someone was to practice truly a religion, it would be fine. But when you study the Islamic doctrine and you go back to 1400 years of history, it appears that, and you read the Quran, there are verses that say, conquer and kill, to seek the unbelievers, convert or kill them. That's concerning. We see what's happening in Iran, we see what's happening in Nigeria.
But these people in that mosque, they're not raping and pillaging, are they? I mean...
I don't know. I hope not. I don't know. I don't know. When we're learning about what happened in the UK, I don't know. I hope not. It's not going to happen in our land here in Texas. It's not going to happen in America. That's not what our founding fathers set this up to be.
Obviously, we're in Dallas. What would a typical street sign in Dallas say? Like, what's a typical name for a street in Dallas?
Lovers Lane, Sam Houston Boulevard, MLK. I mean, we've got those. Those are central, all American Texas
heroes.
American heroes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are we looking at here then? So we've got slightly different.
I don't know. When our street signs, our street names are changing from our founding fathers and our war heroes, is bad. It's changing. Not in a good way.
So all these homes, they look pretty new.
Yes.
Are they kind of expanding? Is there like a lot more? It
appears that way. It appears that there were, the name of this neighborhood, I believe, is a second and a third. So they're building these neighborhoods. They built an older one, now they're building others that are coming on. So we've got a guest here. So yeah, I think I'm gonna get
That's
back
all
in the
good.
car.
We're all good.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in the car though. You guys get. Yeah, thank you.
Videographing, so just wanted to check what's happening. Just checking.
I work for a British TV company, and we're making a documentary here in Irving, in Texas. We're not going to be recording you, sir. I'm recording me, but accusing me of Islamophobia for no reason. I mean, I'm here in Texas.
You said that you are here because of the spread of Islam in Texas.
Exactly. That's why we're here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was interesting that someone clearly called the security in the neighborhood to try and question me. I mean, I guess they're curious about what we're filming today. And the guy who was speaking to me accused me without evidence of being Islamophobic, merely for making a documentary about the rise of Islam in Dallas today.
I can guarantee you if you got out and filmed down the street from my neighborhood, nobody would show up. Maybe that's a bad thing.
So what's the next stop?
So the next stop, we're going to Valley Ranch, which I've lived in Dallas for about 25 years, and Valley Ranch used to be the home of the Dallas Cowboys. That was where their practice field was. Nobody knew anything else except the Cowboys about Valley Ranch, and now there's a giant mosque there.
I think a lot of people, well, I'm sure a lot of the local Muslims would say they're not a threat to anything. They're just living their lives. They've got their own religion.
Yes.
You know, they're not harming anyone.
Mm-hmm.
How do you respond to that?
I heard this analogy yesterday and I can't quit thinking about it. They say if you had a bowl of M&Ms and you said in the bowl, most of them are great, no problem, but there are 3 of them in there that are poisonous, that have stated, we want to kill you. So you probably wouldn't risk those M&Ms. You probably wouldn't, and you probably stand in front of it so your family wouldn't do that either. That's kind of how we feel about this situation. It's lovely that there are many people that are here and living their life and enjoying America. That's great. But the ones that have blatantly stated Sharia law will happen in Texas, Sharia law will happen in America, that's obviously concerning.
So this area was the home of the Dallas Cowboys.
That's right.
And now it's home to something new, or a new demographic.
That's right. That's right. Yes, I think about Valley Ranch as the home of the Dallas Cowboys, where they had their practice field, where their cheerleaders were, where they filmed Dallas Cowboy cheerleader show. Everybody loves it. And now, yeah, we're standing in front of a mosque right next to a high school here, and coming out of school. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday, and it appears that they're leaving school to come to the mosque to pray. I mean, if my daughter was going to leave the school to go pray or to do anything at 1 o'clock on a Friday, she would be getting an F in her class.
Have we seen an increase in the number of mosques in Dallas in recent years?
Absolutely dramatically. As I said before, I remember one mosque in Plano 20 years ago, but now they're just booming everywhere. There are major festivals out everywhere. There are people praying. There are halal restaurants. A dramatic number of halal restaurants.
So we have an example of some of the halal restaurants and markets here in Texas.
Yes.
Yeah, tell me a bit about the halal, why you think that's a concern of yours.
It's my understanding that the animal does not receive any anesthetizing before they are killed, and then that they drain the animal's blood. That's very concerning to me. I don't. How horrible! As that seems like animal cruelty to me, and I believe that many people don't know and understand that.
To understand more about the growth of Islam in America, I sat down with a series of experts.
I'm Ben Berquam. I run an organization called Frontline America, and I'm the host of Law and Border on Real America's Voice News.
When you've been reporting in America, can you give us some examples of what you've seen when it comes to Islamic immigration, Islamic influence?
Even from a legal immigration standpoint, backing up, you look at the Somalis in Minneapolis. This was an area where, out of the goodness of our heart, through the asylum process, we were Trojan horsed with countries that will never assimilate to our culture. And so you look at places like Dearborn, Michigan, where you have these huge Muslim populations imported, or Minneapolis. And all you have to do is go there. You go to these neighborhoods and it's not America anymore. But then we have this other side that has come through the back door, who are here purely to attack, murder, and cause chaos. I've found multiple Qurans when they're coming across. I've found the prayer mats as they came across and turned themselves in.
I'm Frank Gaffney. I previously worked in the Reagan Defense Department, acting as an Assistant Secretary of Defense, and have for most of the intervening years been working on the problem of what I call Sharia supremacism.
What is Sharia?
Sharia is the path in Arabic. It is described as a complete way of life. It is an all-encompassing, as I say, totalitarian ideology that is meant to demand of every adherent Muslim compliance. The purpose of those codes, and especially this is true of Sharia, is to destroy this country. It is to transform it from a constitutional republic founded on Judeo-Christian values with freedoms that are inalienable rights given to us by God. That's not the program under Sharia in any respect. And consequently, we not only can ban it, we have an obligation to ban it.
What do you say to Americans who are watching this, who maybe they don't live in Dallas, maybe they live wherever, and this isn't really an issue in their area, and they think what you're saying sounds hyperbolic. I mean, really? Muslims trying to take over America? That's never going to happen. What do you say to them?
Go to a place where it's happening. Go to Dearborn. Go to Hamtramck. Go to Dallas. Look around. Or better yet, go to Britain. Go to London. Go to Paris. You can tell yourself all day long that it can't happen here. But as long as you do nothing about it, not only can happen, but it will happen. And that's simply because you're dealing with people who are persuaded that it is Allah's divine writ that they will rule the world.
Do you think that Islam is compatible with America?
I do not think the religion of Islam is compatible, primarily because it has no concept of individual. America is based on individual rights. In the Declaration, all men are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Islam has no concept of the individual. It's the group, the ummah, the community. And if the community honors you, your worth as a person goes up. If your daughter embarrasses you in front of your community by dating a non-Muslim, they're so concerned about their pride in front of their group, they'll murder their own daughter with an honor killing to regain their respect by this group. It's a group religion. And the local imam keeps the list of what's acceptable and what's not. Whereas the West goes back to the Bible that all men are made in the image of God, and this God is not a respecter of persons.
I'm sure that some people would argue that Christianity also has a history of violence and persecution, particularly against Jews, for example, in medieval Europe. And you could also point to the Old Testament, the Hebrew Bible, which has examples of genocide, slaughter, slavery, even instructions on how to do slavery, God urging on genocide of towns and things for various reasons. Again, one could make the comparison between that violence and the violence that you're talking about in the Quran.
Right. So the Old Testament, yes, very similar, where King David had lots of wives. King David killed enemies. King David wiped out towns. So that's why I compared Jesus and Muhammad. And let's not look at the other ones. So when you realize in the Bible, there's an Old Testament and a New Testament. Old Testament has some violence in it. New Testament, Jesus and the apostles never killed anybody. And so in Islam, they have the verses Muhammad got in Mecca, and they're more moderate. That's when he was just a religious leader. And then there are the verses Muhammad got in Medina, and they're political, militant, and more violent verses. And the later verses supersede the earlier verses, abrogate. So we say, yes, the Old Testament has some violence, but the last example Jesus left us was a nonviolent example. It's the same way in Islam, only in reverse.
To see how Dallas's demography has changed over the decades, I met up with Ron, a retired lawyer in Dallas.
So Ron, you are a local of Texas.
Yes,
How long have you lived here?
all my life. It's 83 years.
And your area has changed somewhat due to immigration and Islam, is that right?
Yes.
Are you going to show us today some of the places around here that have changed?
Yes.
What was Texas like 83 years ago when you were growing up?
Well, it was less populated, no freeways. People were pretty, what we call laid back. We don't have the hustle that we do now of people and trying to get from place to place. Things were slower.
I guess when you were growing up, you didn't see much of that. You wouldn't have seen mosques around here.
Oh, no. I do not recall the first mosque I saw. I really didn't realize the nature of what it could mean for our community until it's somewhere in the 90s.
So where are we heading now? What's the first site?
We're going to go to a mosque in Frisco, which it's a fortress.
So can you describe what we're seeing now?
Well, I don't know the name of the mosque, but it's a mosque.
So that mosque looks pretty, like you said, it's like a fortress, like
Correct.
it's high walls. You think they're careful about their privacy?
I assume so, but they do have public gatherings. They encourage people to come and learn about Islam.
Do you know any Muslims?
Yes.
And what do you think of them?
Well, I have personally not met one that was anything but nice.
Wouldn't that mean that, maybe you're overgeneralizing some of them? They would say, we just want to be here and live our lives peacefully.
Oh, I wish they were, and I hope they are. But we don't know. And if you see or study what's happened in the past, some of the nicest ones are the leaders of the effort of what I call the jihad movement. Now, this is my ranch. Let's have a look.
Great. So is ranching a big deal in Texas then?
It is. I always wanted to be a cowboy when I grew up, and got my wish. I am a country boy trapped in the body of a city boy.
Oh, I bet.
I'll take it. Thank you. Okay, guys, you ready?
The immigration that you're seeing into Texas from Muslims, are they getting involved in this kind of Texas life? Are they integrating? Are they becoming ranchers? Are they proud Texans like you?
Into the rural economy, I don't see that. I think it's one of the big problems. I think is that they're going to try to keep their culture. They're not interested in our culture, from what I can see. And if I'm wrong, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see it.
Oh, we're witnessing a fight.
Next, Ron wanted to show me the site of a major development local Muslims are attempting to construct called Epic City. The development, led by the East Plano Islamic Center, is under investigation by state authorities over claims it violates Texas's fair housing and consumer protection laws. The developers deny any wrongdoing. Ron arranged for me to speak to a nearby resident active in the campaign against the project. She agreed to talk, but asked not to be identified on camera.
We're here at a site which is very important in Texas called Epic. Can you explain what that is?
We are actually at the Meadow, which was renamed from the R Mud 2A, which was renamed from Epic City, which was the original plan put together by a group of owners based out of Plano. And it's over 402 acres, and another 200 acres has been purchased down the street. There's another 100 acres down the road from here. It is to contain apartments, homes, a masjid mosque, a school, private school for their students.
Why is this so controversial here in Texas?
America is based on Judeo-Christian principles. America is based on freedom. America is based on assimilation. Many people are concerned that the assimilation is not occurring the way we used to see it.
And can you show us on the map where we are?
Okay, this is the general Dallas-Fort Worth area. This is where we are is off of here. This shows multiple mosques that are recorded as mosques and possibly some schools that are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I can already tell you this is out of date.
So we've got this whole beautiful area
Yes.
around us of farmland, and this is what could be developed into mosques, into basically this new city, this epic city. Mm-hmm. Would those people be integrating into Texan life if they did that?
My understanding of the more stringent culture, which is why they want their own compound, is that will not be able to occur. I have little children running up and down the streets in my neighborhood. Neighbors help each other out and talk to each other in the middle of the street. And in town help each other, in parks help each other. And unfortunately, with other communities, I see that they are more confined and more isolated.
During my time in Dallas, I saw communities that felt strikingly familiar, the kind you might find in parts of Britain's biggest cities. For some Texans, that familiarity is precisely the concern. They look at Britain, at tensions over integration, identity and extremism, and worry that the same challenges born of mass migration could one day reach their state. And while Epic City is still just a proposal, some see it as a sign that Texas is importing a multicultural experiment and repeating mistakes they believe Britain is still struggling to confront.